So the second part of my charge behavioral phenotype says very goal-directed, persistent, and sense of humor. I've discovered over the years that if a kid with charge intends to do something, they're going to do it. Some of the earlier research actually on behavior was done at Perkins School for the Blind, and they looked at trying to stop children from doing something they were doing, and the kids became very aggressive. That's interesting because, yes, our kids, for whatever reason, this is what they want to do, and they will keep persisting in doing that thing. So I think very goal-directed, persistent. I think actually that's probably good because, you know, when you think about kids with charge, they learn how to walk. How do they learn how to walk? Some of these kids should not be able to walk. You know, they don't have the vestibular sense. They don't have the visual sense. Their muscles may not be extremely strong, but somewhat floppy. There is no way these kids should be able to stand up and walk. And yet 99% of them walk. I think that's their persistence. I think that's their goal-directedness. So part of our task is to help them pursue goals that we're willing to have them do. But that's very difficult with any child, and certainly with charge. And I've added onto that the sense of humor. I mean, I interact with lots of individuals with charge frequently, certainly on Facebook and Messenger and in person at conferences, and they crack me up. I mean, these kids have just the most amazing sense of humor, and that's so delightful because, again, you think, oh, charge syndrome sounds very gloomy, and probably you go to a meeting with people with charge and they're all depressed. These kids, it's just funny. They're not predictable. You know, they say they want to do something. We did this a couple of years ago at a conference, and they said they wanted to get together as a group of adults, young adults, and play games. And could we help them? So my research lab got some games together, brought them to the conference, asked them when they wanted to do it, and they said, oh, well, yeah, maybe such and such a time. So my students showed up, but nobody with charge showed up. They were doing their own thing. And I'm sure having a good time and not thinking about the ramifications of someone having prepared something that they said they wanted. But they're funny about it. And so it's okay. It works out. It's not a big deal.